Thank you very much, Director, for being here with us. I know we've had an audience who has been through quite a bit of challenge on travel, so I will say that.
As have I.
Yes, so you're in good company here. We know we have a very short period of time, and there has been such great interest to ask you so many questions. So we're going to narrow it, but give you an opportunity to speak as much as possible. No surprise that the first question we have for you is around AI. Of course, our audience is particularly interested in this topic, Director. So we know that you have been at the USPTO investing heavily in this space. So we'd be interested in both what you're doing at the office itself, as well as anything you'd like to add with respect to patenting here.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for having me here today and for undergoing all that travel, all those travel issues, and still persisting. I have to say, at some point last night, I was like, oh my gosh, when do I call it? But so excited to be here today. I will say when it comes to artificial intelligence, I see that as one of the country's greatest opportunities and greatest risks. So everything that I do is with that lens, with the lens that we need to make sure that we're promoting more innovation, that we're staying competitive as a leader, as a country, and what we do around AI is going to dictate that. So a lot of the work that I do is within the administration and with the White House. As you may have heard, the president has announced that he's going to issue an executive order on AI shortly. So that is something we've been working with the White House on. In addition to that, just thinking about AI policy globally and what that looks like. So that's a part of how we are leaning in on AI. In addition to that, under my tenure, we established the first ever AI-ET partnership, because we realize this is something where we need to hear from you. We need to solve for things by hearing from you. We've had a number of meetings. I would encourage you to participate in them. And if you know folks who are deep into AI and big thinkers, please ask them to participate as well. Through that, we hosted listening sessions around inventorship. We're now moving forward on that and thinking about what guidance should look like in the US in terms of inventorship, in terms of what does a human have to contribute in order for an invention to be eligible for patenting. So kind of flipping the narrative, not from what does AI contribute, but what does a human contribute. So that's something that we're working on. We're hoping to, I've seen a draft of it. I'm hoping we can roll it out as soon as possible, because other countries are asking when we're going to act, and they're watching. And so that's a big bucket. We're also focused on copyright, working with the Copyright Office. I know Shira Perlmutter is going to speak later today, working very closely with her. Please do respond to her request for information, the Copyright Office's request for information that they let on August 30th. We're going to be using the results of that, as well as the study from the Copyright Office, to govern AI policy when it comes to the administration. And then beyond that, we also have to think about obviousness, person of ordinary skill in the art. So we're working on a request for comment on that to get your ideas before we move forward on guidance when it comes to that. And then beyond it, we of course want to embrace AI when it comes to the Patent and Trademark Office and everything we do and how it can help the work that we're doing. So everything from routing patents to the right examiner who understands the technology, to prior art searching. We've released 2 different tools. So far there's been 1.3 million references collected through that AI effort, and references from 60 different countries. So it really is going to help improve the quality of both patents and trademarks in the office.
That's excellent. I mean, I think for us, we've heard it here now. We have to make sure that we're responsive to the request for comments. And I can tell you, I'll do a bit of a shameless plug for IPO, Director. We have a number of committees who are particularly focused in this area, and we'll be certainly hearing you when it comes to the response there.
Well, and I just have to say, I want to thank IPO for that, and all the stakeholders who have expressed views. I realize we're spinning a lot out. That's because we're at a unique time when we can do a lot and when there's a lot to do. So really appreciate feedback on everything that we're doing so that we make sure that we're doing it with data, we're doing it with what you're seeing on the ground.
That's great. I mean, I will say for those who weren't able to be here yesterday, interestingly enough, Director, we want to recognize the fact that there's a lot of work here too, and we did actually award one of our committees who is working in the AI space for the work. So we know, and we're eager to step up too. Thank you. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit and move to patent quality. We know that the USPTO, under your leadership, has made substantial investment in improving quality. That's very important to our membership as well. And we'd love to just hear some of your reflections on that space too.
So I believe we need to have the most robust and reliable IP possible, both on the trademark and on the patent side. And so from day one, I really wanted to hear from stakeholders on what we could do when it came to patent quality. And interestingly enough, one stakeholder early on said, if you change an or to an and, or maybe it was the other way around in the MPEP, that will improve patent quality. And as you may have seen, we put that into the robust and reliable request for comment. So we're looking to hear from you what you think that we can do to issue stronger IP rights. And part of that is going to be the changes we're going to make in response to your comments to the request for comment on robust and reliable IP. Part of it is work that we're doing within the agency. So when I came on board, I started having listening sessions with patent examiners. And I've heard from about 1,500 of the patent examiners in small listening sessions on what they're seeing on the ground, how we could support them better, what they need to produce the highest quality patents possible. The first thing they asked me to do was change routing. They said that a lot of them were getting patents on their desk that did not relate to a technology field they were familiar with, and it took too much effort to move it off their desk, and that took away from the time that they actually spent examining applications. So we changed that really quickly. Routing, classification, there's a number of things that they've asked for that we've changed, everything from hours of the day they could work, any idea that they had on what more we could do. Training, that was big in the design patent area. They wanted a lot more training on new Federal Circuit cases. They wanted to make sure that we were evolving in the design space as much as we were evolving in the utility space. So we put a lot of effort when it comes to the design space. So, beyond that, the AI that we're using obviously is going to help increase the quality of patents. We're also thinking about, when people are healthy and they're enjoying their job, everybody performs better. So we are working on every aspect of the agency to make it a place where people there, the examiners can thrive, they can feel valued, they can feel connected to our mission and vision, and they have the tools and resources to do the best they can for you.
That's tremendous. As you know, we have a lot of corporate members as well as in firms and companies. And we're concerning ourselves quite a bit, too, about the engagement of staff, especially at this time. So thank you for that, too. Okay, I'm shifting gears. Once again, I'm going to move to trademarks. We also understand that anti-counterfeiting and piracy is the top subject for our audience as well. We would be very interested in knowing not only some of your efforts there, but also maybe how the PTO, under your leadership, is working with other agencies, Homeland Security, Border Protection.
So this is all, I feel like everything you say, I'm going to say, this is really important to me. Everybody asks me to, I've always been asked in life, like, choose your favorite accents. Like, I don't do that. Like, we need to do everything. And it's true, within the agency, we need to focus on everything. So one of the first talks I gave was actually at INTA. And I remember being on stage and telling a story about right before I came into office, one of my friends who is extremely wealthy, she started a company in Silicon Valley, came to my house and she gave me a Chanel hat. And I looked at the hat and I thought, this is really nice. Like, maybe I'll get more for my friends. Where did you get it from? And she told me it was only $15 and how exciting that was that Chanel had licensed their logo to put on these hats. And this is a really, really smart woman. And so, I tried to explain that is not conceivable.
This has been since you've been in your role?
This is right before I came in, so she knew I was taking on this role. And so I was at INTA and I told that story, and a woman came up to the microphone and she said, I don't normally come and speak, don't normally ask questions, but I'm so-and-so from Chanel. And I told people that this is something that we need to fix. It's something that it's all of our responsibility. So if you're at a company that has online stores, online capabilities, wherever you are, we have to fix this because it's eroding our economy more than anything else. There's a lot of attention that's put on other types of IP theft, but counterfeiting and piracy are the two biggest challenges that we have. It's not only eroding our economy. When you look at counterfeit products, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. I hear from the automotive industry that airbags that are counterfeited never work. They either over-deploy or under-deploy. either one results in something that nobody wants to ever happen. And so what we've been doing as an office is, we're trying, just like everything we do, we're trying to hit it everywhere. So we want to change how kids interact with goods and how they purchase, how they